Frosty. Frosty the snowman.
Hi guys, this is Andy, the Expedition Hiker, and it's April the 12th, although when you're watching this video it might be weeks later, but nevertheless we are out. We are on a wild camp, and some of you may recognise where I am from what's behind me, which is Bamford Mill, and tonight we are setting up on Bamford Edge. So it's great. Lockdown is lifted today. I've had a haircut, so great to be out. So let's get going, and we're heading up towards Bamford Edge. Well, I wonder if what's behind me shows up on camera as being flat or uphill. If we look at it from a different angle, although probably not shown on the camera, it's shown as flat as a pancake probably. Anyway, well, we're going to get up there. It is meant to be a bit frosty tonight. Believed to dropping down to -2 at the moment because I'm walking up a big hefty hill. I'm sweating a bit. But that's because first time actually in the Peak District since the lockdown. I've been walking all flat routes for the last few weeks. Excuse the puffing and panting, but actually, as we got up to this bit, this was the last thing I thought would be a full tarmac path, and that looks like it's been laid recently. Gonna head up the rest of this track, past this tree line. You can see just there's some cars, so that's the road. Then we'll gradually head up that way in the gap and then up onto Bamford Edge. I'm aiming to find a pitch about a mile away from there, heading along the edge a little bit more. So hopefully we should get a good view of Ladybower reservoir tonight and tomorrow morning. Well, we saw one similar to this down at Bamford Mill. This one says Bamford Carnival, and then below it we've got symbols of the area. So we've got a Lancaster bomber, which would have been part of the dam buster raids that would have happened on Derwent Reservoir. Then below that we have one of the reservoir dam. I'm thinking that is actually Derwent Dam. To the right of that is what I'm guessing may be something to do with the church. Now there was in Ladybower Reservoir, the church was sunk. Reservoir was created. There was a village, Derwent Village, and they flooded the village. The church spire was still sticking out when it was low water. Those people that used the water for their livelihood, fishermen or recreation, it became a bit of a hazard, so they had to knock it down, demolish it. Now it has been, I think it was 2 years ago, well, the reservoir was that dry that you could see the top of the village, the remains of it, as the water dropped. Well, I can't see it, but I can hear it. There is a helicopter over there. Oh, I can see it actually. And we are at Bamford Edge now. Obviously just seen the Chinook. That's Win Hill in the centre of the picture now. And looking down towards Bamford Works. And in the valley is Bamford. And then if we continue that way, we'll continue along the River Derwent towards Chatsworth and beyond. To find where I'm sleeping tonight now. So we're going to walk along Bamford Edge, and hopefully, by the looks of it, we might get a nice sunset. Now I've got about a mile to walk, maybe a little less, onto the point of where I think I'm going to pitch my tent tonight. And hopefully it'll be a nice pitch. Now, as I said earlier, it might be a bit of a frost later, so I'm hoping not. It is actually mentioned to be dropped down to -2, and it is getting a bit cooler up here. So fortunately, I've got my got a 3-season bag with me today, so hopefully that will keep me warm enough. Oh, I didn't expect to see that. Looking over towards Kinder Scout, you can just see behind Win Hill is a bit of snow. So there's still got a bit of snow up there. Now, I do believe it is meant to be some snow on the top a few days ago. And although it's a bit nippy, it's gorgeous up here. Surprising actually, as lockdown has lifted today, I expected to see more wild campers up here. There's nobody up here. I haven't seen anybody. Well, a few people walking for a stroll, but that's about it. But on the other hand, I like it like that. Quite like it. Been having the mountain to myself or wherever I am. So if we look where the edge is at the minute, and then coming down here, you just see this metal piece here. It's like iron thing that's just hammered into the ground. And if you notice on this side, it's got a hole in it. Now, I've seen some of these before on the southwest coastal path, and these were actually anchor points for connecting a rope up to, and then they would abseil off the cliff edge. Ones I know are from the Second World War, so when the commandos were practicing abseiling off the cliff edges before probably going to D-Day landings. These are the training points. So these, it may be used more modern now as an anchor point for abseiling down the cliff face still. You see these dotted around the edges of the cliff. They're usually from World War II, and I presume they may also use it for climbing up the when the rock climbers are doing it. Anyway, we'll continue on. We've got, so looking at that, I've probably got about 40 minutes before sunset. How I work it out is you look on the horizon line and basically you put your fingers in front, 15 minutes per finger. So 4 fingers together is an hour. If you put your top of your fingers at where the sun is, and then you count down to where the horizon line is. So at the moment I've got around about 3 fingers, which would work out to be about 45 minutes. So we're looking around 45 minutes before sunset. I can't say it's gospel, it works all the time, but it's always worked for me. And somebody told me that a long time ago. So if you haven't got a watch on, I want to try and work out if you can see the sun, if it's not behind any clouds and anything, or a wet day, then that's the way you're working it out. Well, I've just it looks like we're going to be pitching in the dark again as usual. Ended up chatting to a guy, Tim, as we're up at Bamford Edge. You know, a lot of people around here now waiting for the sunset behind Win Hill, and in front we can see Ladybower reservoir. It is looking a bit shallow at the moment. which is surprising because it's only just the end of winter. Yes, Tim, nice meeting you, and thank you for giving me a beer, because I forgot to bring some beers up for me, so he's giving me a beer, so thank you very much for that, and a nice chatting to you. Well, we best crack on, because I've still got about 800 meters to go. Sunset's in about 20 minutes, so looking highly likely that I'm going to be pitching in the dark again. So anyone that knows Bamford Edge, obviously we're in Derbyshire, in the Peak District, and we're going to head down to, there's a thing called Hut Circle on Bamford Moor, hoping with obviously sunset, sunrise, I might get a good view of Ladybower. Also the Hut Circle is right next to the pillars, so if you know where the pillars are, where my spot for the night is, somewhere near there. So it's just about getting to sunset, and behind me you can see Win Hill, and on the opposite side you see Ladybower Reservoir, and the sun is setting, and we are not at pitch yet, although we're not far, probably about 300 meters to go. If I get a shifty on, I might actually get the tent up before dark for a change. Nice sunset, and actually we've got no cloud in the sky. So I should see some stars. I can see one now, or maybe a satellite. Found a pitch, so we're going to park up here. Got a bit of a sunset, just going down. You can see Ladybower Reservoir just over there, and Win Hill just there. So nice spot. There is a few trails around here. There's a path straight in front, there's a path near the back. It's quite sheltered around here. A couple of rocks, outcrop rocks here. The pillars are just, I can see both pillars just over there. This is the point where you find out that I forgot the pegs or something. Hopefully not, I'm sure we haven't. 110. Hopefully set poles down here. One set poles. And new pegs. Pegs should be in here. One set of pegs. We have everything. Stick everything in so we don't lose anything. Put the rucksack to the side, then we get the tent up. My ground sheet, footprint, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm using some new pegs there. I've got some of these groundhog stakes I bought from Amazon. They're about 10 grams each. Let's see how they go. They look quite sturdy and they're bright, so it makes it easier in the morning to find the pegs. So I've just got all our gear out. Here's my sleeping bag, we'll sort that out in a minute. In the meantime, I bought a new Trekology UL80. Now funny enough, it's still called ultralight sleeping mat, although my old one only weighed 468 grams. this one weighs 760 grams, so it is 2/3 heavier than the old one. Now, it's meant to be improved. I'm not sure what's improved on, apart from it was before a 15 denier fabric. Now I believe it's a 20 denier fabric, so the fabric is thicker, so less chance of puncture. Other than that, I'm not sure what it is, what other benefits to it, if it's a better night's sleep or anything else. But I did have a good night's sleep on the old one. The old one I've got rid of. I've had it for 4 years I think now. By the look of YouTube, I was one of the first people to get the Trekology original. And what I've also bought is the ear bag. So it's it's like a dry bag, but you put it in the bottom, catch the ear, and then you pump it up that way. So I've done it a couple of times. It's probably about 12-13 bags of air you need. Before, I think you needed 38 breaths of air to blow up the mat. So with that, let's get this bad boy up, see how good it is. Let's get the sleeping bag up, in, out, shake it all about. I've got the Mountain Hardware Laminar 20. Now, did hear a Chinook earlier. I think I can hear another one. So hopefully they're not going to be flying over one night. Yeah, there is another one flying somewhere. You can see that flashing. That's another Chinook. Again, low flying. Same direction as last time. I'm guessing it must be some sort of military exercise that's going off. Let's just hope that's not going to be happening all night. So the minute can't see much. Only problem is with this camera, it's not very good for filming at night time. La 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 la. Right, time for a bit of food. For tonight we have, ladies and gentlemen, spaghetti carbonara. It's an Expedition Foods. I've never tried these ones before, so hopefully it's going to be a little bit different and a little bit more tasty, a little bit more expensive, so hopefully. But it is a 1000 calorie extreme energy range, so we shall see how it gets on. So with these ones, you need, first of all, remember to take the absorber out. You're going to put 350 millilitres of water in there. So fortunately my pot told me how much, 500 millilitres pot, so we can do that. Right, also, now I did mention about my pocket rocket that I lost before. Now I've upgraded. I bought a pocket rocket 2. I always think they're really fiddly, so you don't want to break it. Right, so I need to fit. So pull the arms out. Now I have measured it. It actually does fit my pot quite nicely. Right, so there's my arms. You'll remember which way is off. Okay, and the fortunate thing about this little pot, so I can get my lighter in it, the stove, I can get my canister base in there, and obviously the gas itself, yeah, 100 millilitre canister. So I put one of those, the MSR ones, compatible with the pocket rocket. We've got our pot with 500 millilitres, and it all fits together. And this is the Tom Shoe pot. Yeah. Okay, so we're prepped up. I've got spork here, so I'm going to turn the, and then we've got my cup here. It's covered in crap. Whew. Right, we're having a brew in a bit. It is starting to get a bit colder now. The sun has completely gone down. Let's fit it in properly. Now, this, well, last time I did this, there's quite a bit of gas escaped from this. Not so much that time, which is good. Otherwise the sand fell off. Right, we are on firm ground, I think. So we're ready to fill up So it says 3:15 we're aiming for. I'll do a brew separately in a bit. 3, that's a tad over, but with evaporation should be about right. I forgot the windshield. Nearly someone's windshield. And there we go. So as I say, this new range, expedition food. Well, it's not a new range. It's one I've never tried before. So this has been boiling for 2.5 minutes. How are we getting on? All got in a good steam there. Now these ones, so add water, stir very well, reseal and wait. Although it doesn't say how long you wait for. Now that's interesting. So it doesn't tell you how long to wait for. It says to pull, and then we've got a boil. Right, so with that. So that took about 3 minutes. Other ones I've used that were 8 minutes. Right, so 350 millilitres. And that is that. So give it a good stir. Right, I think we've had a good enough stir there. So I'm going to take a spoon out. We'll seal the bag. And try and work out how long we're leaving it for. No idea how long you leave it for. We'll go with 8 minutes and see how it gets on from there. Right, while we are doing that, let's have a look at the landscape. You can't see out. You can see the lights down there of the village that I can't remember what it's called, which is next to Bamford Works. Right, so while I was away, I found out that I did manage to get on the internet, and it takes 5 to 8 minutes for it to rehydrate. Now we're going to give this a bit another stir. It's been about 8 minutes. And actually, this ain't looking too bad. I'll show you what I mean. So there you go. There you go. That's not looking too bad at all. What it tastes like is a different story. But we'll retire to the tent in a minute once I've got my water done for my brew, and then we'll eat up and warm up. Right, so we have retired to the tent. Food is there, all ready to eat, and brought my stove in, took my boots off. Gonna eat now, and I'm sure you don't want to see me eating. I eat like a pig. No, I don't. But I'm sure you still don't want to see me eat. I've had my dinner, and the verdict is Expedition Foods. First time I've tried them. The spaghetti carbonara was excellent. Probably the best one I've ever had, including in a restaurant. So that's saying something. And very filling too. As for the apple and custard, well, when I opened the packet up, it looked like scrambled egg. And when I tasted it, it's not like, first of all, it started to taste like scrambled egg with a bit of apple in it. But the more I ate into it, it started to taste like egg custard. You know, like the little egg custard tarts with apple as well. So jury's out on that one. But the spaghetti carbonara, definitely a bit having that one again. And as it says, it's 1,000 calorie packet. It is getting colder. Funny enough, my feet are cold, and my feet are never cold.
apart from that, I'm quite warm, so it's just my feet. So with that, in a moment, I'm going to change into my fantastic romantic long johns and my thermals for getting in my sleeping bag. Once I've got all ready for bed, we will retire to the bedroom. Well, we're in the lounge at the moment because we're lounging about, but we will move to the bedroom, which the bedroom's actually the same room. It's a bit like being at university when you live in a studio. The bedroom, the lounge, the kitchen, it's all the same room when you're inside a tent, especially a backpacking tent. If you're in one of these like deluxe glamping tents, then you probably do have separate rooms, but I don't get that luxury. I do have a vestibule, so I do have a porch. So I've got a porch and the rest of the house, and then the bathroom is outside, wherever you like to go.
Well, feeling warmer now. My feet are warmer. I've put my thermal socks on. I've got my long johns on. So the picture for the ladies. Got my long johns on. And then on top, we've got our merino wool top on. And, well, my jersey at the minute. We're getting into the sleeping bag soon. Especially because I'm on the colder floor at the minute. Got that put in my bag was my hand warmer. So put it to the bottom of my sleeping bag at the moment, and now it's warming up the bottom end of the sleeping bag where my feet will be. So hopefully that's going to keep me nice and warm. So the Black Diamond lantern, 105 lumens. I think it was about 12-13 pounds from Ultimate Outdoors. It's actually very bright, so I'm quite impressed with the lantern. So with that, I'm going to bid you farewell. I'll see you in the morning. Nighty night for me.
Not a bad view to wake up to.
Morning. Well, my morning view. So in front we have Ladybower reservoir. On the top edge, that's Kinder Scout. And then from this angle, just the sun's starting to poke out. And there's my tent. It's a frosty night, or frosty this morning. Tent's a bit covered at the moment. Frosty the snowman. It was quite cold last night, I must admit. I do think it dropped down to about -2, -3. But we're up now, and a glorious day it is. Cold, but glorious. Anyway, we're going to get a brew on, I think. Brew sounds a good idea to me. I'm not saying it was cold last night, but I don't know if you can be able to see this, but my water bottle froze last night. Half and half at the moment. I've got it out in the sun now, but it's going to take a while. It's nice and cold though. Leave the site as you found it. Leave no trace. Now the only bit you can see where I've been is because there's a frost around the edge. But other than that, you wouldn't know I've been there last night. I've got all my litter, it's bagged up, I'm ready to go. So now you see it, now you don't. So we are ready to go, and it's been a short one, but it is the 12th of April, but I needed to get out. I needed to get out of the lockdown, I needed to get back into the Peak District, I needed another wild camp. And with a view like that, can you blame me that I miss it? Because that's going to be one of the best views in the Peak District, to be honest. Oh, forgot to say, litter, don't forget to take your litter with you. Don't leave it on the landscape. Now the thing is, at the end of the day, wild camping is great and it's tolerated in England and Wales if it's done correctly. And what I mean by correctly is that you turn up late, don't set up your tent until the sun's going down. Take it down first thing in the morning. Don't just leave here and think you're on a camping holiday for 3 or 4 days. Take it down as soon as. Once you've taken it down, tidy the site up, take your litter away with you and find a bin, appropriate place. Now obviously this was full with water and food when I came up, so it was a lot heavier. So it's so easy for me to take this down with me now because it's empty, it doesn't weigh anything. If people are actually leaving litter and making a mess, then that's going to ruin it for everybody. And that means I'll ruin it for you, for the next time you want to think, right, I'm going to go wild camping again. No, you probably won't be able to because the police will be more controlling it, and landowners, because of people have left litter in the past. So let's try and wipe the litter thing away. Let's make it, if you're going to wild camp, you want to camp somewhere for free, then do it properly. Especially this summer, lots of people are going to be camping in wherever they're going to be. Most people are going to be on campsites. If you're not, and you come to a place like this, then respect it. Respect the wildlife, respect the environment, respect the countryside, and respect fellow wild campers. So with that said, I've got my rubbish and we're going to head down the hill. Come on. I forgot to bring you. You best come with me. I'm sure you want to see the view as well. So we're going to head down this footpath towards the pillars, and then we take a sharp left and then down the hill, and then we'll head down to Ladybower. And so far so good. The wireless go seems to be doing a job, although the problem is I haven't really had any wind to test it yet. There's one there you can just see in the centre of the screen poking its head out, and then if we move across the screen, look, glorious landscape. And then just next to the wall in the centre of the screen is a second pillar. And say, I believe there's a third pillar further up the moor. How's that for a view? And you even get my shadow in it as well to prove I'm here. So we're heading down to this woodland and we'll head down to the road. Okay guys, so we have finished this little wild camp. It was great to get out. It was the 12th of April and it was a time that I had to get out. I've been locked away all this time. Last time I went on a wild camp was my Christmas one.
And with lockdown and everything else, I haven't been able to go out for a while. So it has been great that we've managed to get out last night. Now, I am going back to Bamford, and how I'm getting here is catching the bus to Bamford from Ladybower. So you can catch a bus all the way down. I'm not really sure what the timetable is. I've got a feeling there's one in about 20 minutes, hopefully. I'm going to sign off for here. Although I did say we're going to get down to Ladybower, so I will show you what Ladybower looks like. So with that saying, hopefully you've enjoyed this little wild camp. There's plenty more I'm going to be doing. Ta-ra for now. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, hikers.